reports I've been hearing say that this is going to be a big change. It's going to be a massive improvement on the existing BlackBerries that the road warriors have gotten used to. What have you heard?
Yes, that's true. I mean, I think RIM has put in a lot of effort into BlackBerry 10. They were expecting a launch in September 2012, which they delayed it to November, and finally we are seeing it January 3rd. I mean, today will be the day when BlackBerry launches it finally. There are a lot of expectations with BlackBerry 10, and I think some of the initial reviews we have seen have been very heartening. So the product really looks good in terms of the features, in terms of the kind of things. But the challenge with RIM is, I guess from a personal point also, what I feel is maybe it's too late in the game. Especially they missed the holiday season, which was a big push-up. And also with BlackBerry, what has happened is most of the enterprise app developers have now moved on to say Android or Apple platform, iOS platform development. So with iOS, how much of the app developers still left with BlackBerry? That's one key concern. I think that's what RIM will have to build up really fast now, in terms of launching the product very fast and making sure that there's an ecosystem of app developers who are developing these high-end apps which can support these enterprise applications in the near future.
On a more basic level, what do you think that RIM's new operating system and the hardware, what do you think that it might look like? Are they going to keep the keyboard there, and they're not going to be running on Android, right? It's their own operating system. What's that going to look like, do you think? Any idea?
I think two versions. One where you have an extended keyboard, and they're talking about a wireless keyboard also as an added accessory. So that would be interesting to see, although they have not really officially launched that wireless keyboard interface. But I'm sure there'll be some roadmap where you can usually use your BlackBerry 10 and you can have a wireless keyboard interface, because one of the challenges with BlackBerry in general with enterprise users has been that the keyboard is too little in terms of if you want to say send official email, right? You are constrained by the keyboard. So if you have an extended wireless keyboard interface, that could be something which RIM would be, I'm sure, looking at. And apart from that, there are a lot of features. I mean, having integrated it into the into the overall RIM architecture, I'm sure there are some other features which they're looking at, which will be very easy for enterprise users to integrate all the enterprise applications in the new BlackBerry 10 platform.
Right. Ajay, the BlackBerry used to be really the domain of corporate users because of the strong security detail associated with the BlackBerry proprietary system. But in the last couple of years, a lot of corporate IT chiefs have started to allow people to migrate away from BlackBerries onto Apples or other devices. So it's become a little more, the universe has become a little more atheistic or agnostic. I'm not sure what the correct term is here. I'm just kind of wondering if they still have enough features to really maybe bring people back into the fold and regenerate that, that sense of security that used to surround them. It does come at a time when Apple is starting to lose some of its magic. We've been seeing that in the stock price. We've been seeing that in some of the sales channel checks as well.
Right. You're very much right, Bunny. I mean, we are increasingly moving to a regime of what we call BYOD, which is bring your own devices, where enterprise customers are more or less asking IT departments that I'm very comfortable with my iPad. I want all my applications which I use on a normal enterprise network to be ported on my iPad or whatever device I'm using. So we are increasingly going to see that with more and more enterprise customers bringing their own personal devices which they are very comfortable with into the environment, and that creates a lot of challenges for the IT network departments in general, security being the primary thing. And the BlackBerry was, RIM was very strong because of the security aspect. But with say Android and Apple now openly releasing platforms which are secure, enterprise applications which they claim are as secure as any other apps. So I think that's one area which they will have to really position themselves strongly in terms of telling the enterprise users that security is one feature which BlackBerry is very strong, and you need to be aware or you need to be very focused on that.
Okay, Ajay, let me turn directions in our last minute here or less. Lenovo. The market's rewarded investors in Lenovo with some pretty big capital gains, at least on paper. Do you think the expectations are outrunning what the company and its chief, Yuanyuan Qing, can actually deliver?
Yeah, I think Lenovo is facing a lot of expectations. I don't want to use the term over expectations, because fundamentally if you look at it, 70 to 80% of the business still comes from the PC laptop business, and it's a declining market. We have seen last quarter, the overall PC market declined by 5%, whereas Lenovo still increased its market share. But having said that, I think one of the key advantages, one of the key strategic move from Lenovo has been their MIDH business and moving to new areas like smartphones and tablets. So there is a lot of expectations from Lenovo, but I'll be very interested to see how their new division, the MIDH, does this quarter especially, and how they are positioned for the next move in terms of smartphones or tablets launches.
Ajay, great having you with D&Me. Thank you very much, okay? You'll have a busy day and night ahead with all these launches and reports. Next, the Federal Reserve